Good evening, President Davis, fellow board members, Superintendent Osrani, Cabinet, and the community. My presentation this evening is a summary of the 2021-22 unaudited actual financial reports. Under current law, a school district must adopt its budget before July 1st and submit a report of actual financial results to the County Office of Education for the prior fiscal year by September 15th. The next step is to provide these actual financial results for independent review and audit by the district's independent external auditors, who prepare a final audit report to be presented to the Board of Trustees in January 2023. At the 2022-23 budget adoption in June, estimated actual financial amounts for 2021-22 were presented as part of the budget forms. This evening, I will summarize the comparison of what was estimated at the time versus the actual financial amounts prepared by the fiscal department staff. In December, the 22-23 first interim financials will be reported. In January, the governor will come out with his 23-24 budget proposal, and the second interim financials will be reported to the board in March. From April to May, we will build the 23-24 budget based on the governor's May revise, and the budget cycle will continue into the next year. The agenda for this presentation is, first, an unaudited actuals to estimated actuals comparison of the unrestricted general fund, and then of the total combined unrestricted and restricted funds, total ending fund balance, a variance summary, components of fund balance, GAN limit, COVID relief fund summary, and then next steps. The general fund consists of unrestricted and restricted funds. Unrestricted funds are generated primarily by the LCFF local control funding formula calculation and are available for the general and discretionary needs of the district, such as salary and benefits, materials and supplies, operating expenses such as utilities, services, capital expenditures, and contributions to special ed and routine maintenance accounts. Restricted funds come from the other state and federal sources and are available for use only within the programs and purposes for which they are granted. For example, textbook funds. Restricted and unrestricted funds together make up the total general fund, but the flexibility afforded by the two different types of funding is very different. Actual 2021-22 total unrestricted revenues equal $108.3 million, $1.8 million less than estimated in June. The decrease is primarily due to a prior year adjustment in our LCFF revenue. Revenue from the LCFF is generated by our average daily attendance, or ADA, and makes up 97% of our unrestricted revenue. The 2021-22 unrestricted expenditures total $115.7 million, $5.2 million less than the estimated actuals. The $5.2 million difference between estimated actuals and unaudited actuals is due to a $1.7 million increase to salary and benefits for negotiated salary increases, a $4.3 million savings in supplies and other services due to unspent funds in various departments. Transportation had savings due to unfilled bus driver positions, and many sites had unspent funds for planned expenditures in 22-23. Capital outlay reflects a 1.3 savings for facility projects not yet completed, but will carry over to the 22-23 fiscal year, and other outgoes saved $1.3 million in contributions to special education due to unfilled positions and savings in contract services. Here is a pie chart of the total unrestricted general fund expenditures. As expected, the majority of our budget is for salaries and benefits. In this section, I will summarize the total combined general fund and audited actuals. The total combined general fund includes unrestricted and restricted funds. Actual total combined general fund revenues equal $152.3 million. This is a $47.7 million decrease from estimated actuals. The decrease is primarily due to restricted revenues, including COVID relief funds that are unearned revenue or planned carryover. Many federal and state grants do not recognize revenue until expensed. In 2022-23, we will recognize the revenue in first interim financial report. Most COVID relief funds and other state funds allow spending over multiple years, so each year the revenue that hasn't been spent is considered unearned and is carried over to the next fiscal year. Even with the addition of restricted general fund revenues, LCFF is our main revenue source. Total combined general fund expenditures reflect a $28.5 million savings due to savings in department budgets, planned site carryover, and facility projects. The $13.1 million in capital outlay savings is due to the COVID 16 classroom building project funded partially with ESSER II funds and will carry into the 22-23 fiscal year. 74% of total expenditures are salary and benefits. Here is a summary of the total ending general fund balance as of June 30th, 2022. The total revenues, less the total expenditures, result in a $500,000 increase in fund balance. This is $19.2 million less than the estimated actuals. In the next slide, I will explain the $19.2 million variance. But please note, ending balance is $21.2 million less than the estimated actuals. As you can see, there is a $2 million difference between the estimated and actual beginning fund balance. This is due to a 2020-21 unearned revenue audit adjustment. The ending fund balance for 21-22 is $60.5 million. The $19.2 million decrease to fund balance from estimated actuals is listed here on this slide. Unrestricted general fund unaudited actuals resulted in a $3.2 million increase due to carryover in site funds, one-time projects, and savings to special ed. The 22.4 decrease to restricted general fund is due to unearned revenues in Title I, inclusive early education expansion grant, and COVID relief funds. The ending fund balance of $60.5 million is comprised of revolving cash, our stores, which is our warehouse inventory, restricted balances, reserve for economic uncertainty, committed for our other post-employment benefits, and other assignments. This evening, you will also have a resolution 2223/11 adoption of the 22-23 GAN limit and 21-22 recalculations before you for approval. Proposition 4, also known as the GAN limit, was passed in 1979 to keep state and local government spending capped at the 1978-79 levels, with adjustments for changes in population and inflation. For school districts, issues with the limit can occur if revenues from taxes increase at a greater rate than the average daily attendance and inflation. Since 1987, any school district with more tax revenue than their limit allows may request the state to share some of the state's limit to cover the shortfall. Requests for more limit have been automatically approved, and the process for requesting more limit from the state are incorporated in the Standardized Accounts Code Structure, SAC software. Ed Codes 1629 and 42132 require boards to adopt a resolution identifying the estimated spending limit for the current fiscal year and the actual spending limit for the preceding fiscal year by September 15th. Here is a summary of our COVID relief funds. Coming up next, in December, we'll come back with the 22-23 first interim financial report. In January, we'll hear what the governor's budget proposal is for the 23-24 fiscal year. And in March, we'll be back with the second interim fiscal report for 22-23 school year. Before I close my presentation, I would like to thank the entire fiscal services staff, purchasing department, nutrition services, child development, and especially Cindy Holmes and Amy Littlefield for all their hard work and dedication. I appreciate the partnership from all of our departments to ensure the fiscal integrity of our district.